Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 16 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is KDay100, who has been watching forever. Thank you so much for all of your support throughout the years. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day, like KDay, send me a private message on YouTube. Alright, so we have a crap ton to talk about. Alright, so the Battle of the Block competition was yesterday, and Nicole's nominees, Caleb and Frankie, were facing off against Christine's nominees, Donnie and Zach, and the host was Derek. Alright, hey, it was another night of fish on Big Brother After Dark. I freaking love that. Not. But anyway, remember how the plan was for Caleb to like make this crazy insane speech and totally throw the competition so that Frankie would stay up on the block? Yeah, he kind of did that, but seems like it wasn't really working the way that they wanted it to. So we were treated to 2 seconds of Victoria and Cody on After Dark talking about how Caleb was just sitting there, but he was basically sitting there watching Frankie win the competition. Are you freaking kidding me? So the feeds come back, After Dark comes back, and Frankie won the competition for himself and Caleb, which means they're both safe for the week. Christine is still the HOH, and Nicole has been dethroned. That wasn't the plan, but apparently there was some sort of football theme for this competition, and Frankie, Caleb, and Christine also won a prize. They're going to be leaving the house to go on this excursion, and they're going to go to some like tailgating thing and meet these NFL players, and Caleb is going to get to eat. So I'm assuming that it's sometime this week, possibly tomorrow. I'll let you know when I find out. So it was not what we were hoping for, or at least not what I was hoping for. And a lot of the house guests were pretty ticked off because, and a lot of the people outside of the house were too. I was reading a lot of message boards and stuff while this was going on. People were pissed. A lot of people are saying like, hey, is this rigged or what? Because pretty much all of the Battle of the Block competitions so far have required at least some teamwork, and a lot of the house guests were saying this competition almost, you know, was more advantageous for just one person to do it. So a lot of people are wondering, did something get, you know, changed up here when Caleb decided that he was going to throw the competition like that? The Battle of the Block competition did start a lot later than usual, so I'm just saying, a lot of people are speculating. So it was a total cluster when the feeds came back on. Frankie was like trying to round up everyone for this meeting because he wanted to share all of his secrets, and there was a heated exchange going on between Zach and Frankie. So Zach kept calling Frankie and Christine effing liars. He was like, Frankie, you've been playing me this whole time, not cool. And Frankie's like, Zach, you are a liar too. And he was saying all of this like actually disgusting stuff, which I'm not gonna repeat, but it was pretty gross. And he was also asking Zach, how does it feel to lose the competition to one person? You lost to one person, me. And he said this right in front of Donnie as well. And he's like, oh Donnie, I'm sorry for gloating in front of you, I'm so sorry. Really, are you? So Frankie's like, yes, I lied. It's mother effing Big Brother. He said, Zach, I don't know why you're so upset with me. I'm the reason you're still here. No, you're not! So then Caleb got in on the fun a little bit. He was like, Frankie, did you or did you not tell Nicole and Christine to put all of us guys up on the block this week? And Frankie's like, yep, I did. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, whatever. So this goes on for a few minutes. Zach is like really emotional. He's like, no! I mean, he's really going for it. So then Cody decides that he's gonna jump in, and he's like, Frankie, did you try to make me the backdoor target last week against Zach? Blah, blah, blah. And everyone's just like, Cody, just like, shut up. You're not in this. Stop trying to like plant yourself in the middle of this, go away. So Frankie is like, well, Zach, if you're gonna be like that, I don't want you at my meeting. I don't want you there. So he's like, I can't believe that he said this. He's like, I'm gonna tell them to call you into the diary room and then they're gonna lock you in there. What the hell is that? I don't think you have that power, or maybe you do, which is even more messed up. So Zach is like, oh, I'll listen, but I'm done with you. So he was like, you have this all over, you suck. So then Mr. Cop, Derek, walks in wearing his suit from hosting the competition, so he looked even more like a cop, and he's like, hey fellas, let's take this into a private room, okay? Let's go in a private room. So they're like, okay, let's go. So it's time for Frankie to reveal his secrets. And this whole thing stinks of production. Stinks. So they go in the fire room. Frankie is like saying into his mic, like, okay, we're going into the fire room. Is that okay? Can we go in there? Are the cameras ready? Are the cameras, they're going in the fire room? We're in the fire room with the cameras, yeah? So then, also, somebody pointed out that there was like a producer tweet telling people like, oh, there's about to be some crazy stuff on Big Brother, and this was tweeted, or Big Brother After Dark, and this was tweeted out before the feeds came back, so it was like totally planned that Frankie was gonna reveal this information right after the competition during After Dark. So, okay, now that we have that out of the way, all of the guys assemble except for Donnie in the fire room because Donnie is like on the verge of tears talking to Christine, and he's like, I'm all alone in this game, I'm feeling really discouraged, it sucks, and Christine's like, Donnie, it's okay, you're gonna be safe this week, it's fine, we'll see about that. So Frankie comes out with this like, what sounded like a prepared speech. He's like, I have been lying to you this whole time. Yes, I was on Broadway. I was in Mamma Mia for 3 years. We know. And he said, for the past 2 years, I've been a YouTuber. I'm a social media mogul. Oh! Are you Rupert Murdoch? No, I don't think so. So anyway, he was also like, I have 1.5 million followers, and my sister is a mega pop star. I just want to say, if you add up all of your followers from like Twitter, Instagram, Vine, YouTube, if you add all those together and say that you have that many followers, that's not really accurate because there's going to be a lot of overlap there, so it's kind of like lame that he's saying that he has 1.5 million followers when he definitely does not. So anyway, he goes about this in a really creepy way. He's like, what's my last name, guys? Tell me, what's my last name? Zach, tell them what my last name is. So Zach is like, Grandi Marcione, or whatever it is. And he's like, yes, Grandi, which we changed to Grande. And Derek is like, oh, Amanda Grande? Which was hilarious. But Frankie was like, yeah, my sister's Ariana Grande. She's like the biggest pop star ever in the world, and she's the best. And Cody is like laughing in shock. He's like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Caleb is drooling. He's struck. Derek and Zach are fuming. Zach is like, I'm not really even sure if this is true. And Derek's like, well, it probably is true. But they're both really pissed. So then, as if that wasn't enough, Frankie is like, also, I'm playing this game for charity. He says that he's using the money from this show to build schools in Africa. Okay, well, I'm all for charity work. I think it's very admirable. I think it's great. I think this was super creepy. He is trying to guilt these people by saying that he's going to use the money for charity. That is so wrong on so many levels. So Derek is like, well, why are you telling us this now? And Frankie's like, well, the truth, I just wanted to get it out there. This has all been weighing on me very heavily. I think it was kind of funny that Derek was giving him a tough time for lying about his life outside the house. He's like, most of us in here are telling the truth about everything. I thought it was funny how he said most of us. That was kind of a tell, don't you think? So anyway, I'm calling BS on Frankie's reasons for revealing this. Frankie knew that he was in trouble, and he was like, I gotta freaking, you know, drop some names and get them to drop their panties. So I just think that's like the worst gameplay ever. It's so not cool. So Frankie is also like, yeah, I just started lying to you guys and stuff and like throwing you under the bus because I got really messed up when my grandfather passed away. Again, so sorry for his loss, but that seems like a really irrational excuse. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. So Zach was like, okay, well, the only thing that I'm getting from this is that you want me out and you wanted to work with the other side of the house. Yes, Zach. So Cody, also not really that impressed. Caleb, on the other hand, like I said, drooling. At first he was like, dude, are you even gay? He said he's very gay. So then Caleb's like, all right, man, well, when we get out of here, you're gonna give me a shout out, right? Caleb, get a life. He was like, yeah, just get me in the studio with Bieber. And Frankie was like, oh yeah, I will walk you arm in arm up to Justin Bieber's house. And then the police will take you away. So, yeah. Donnie walks in the room and they fill him in on Frankie's true life E-Hollywood story. And Donnie does not give a crap. Seriously, he's just like, all right, cool, very nice to hear it. So then Frankie, his show is not over. It's time to go tell the girls. So again, he pulls out his microphone. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go to the living room. Are the cameras in the living room? Are you guys ready for this? I'm in the living room. Are the cameras on? So then he's telling the girls, he tells them the same exact crap in the same way. I'm telling you, planned that speech out. So Nicole is pretty starstruck. She's like, oh my god, you're a celebrity! And Victoria is screaming, and I mean screaming, like screeching. Christine is like, oh, maybe you can help my husband with his music career. No, stop! So, I just have to repeat some of the things that Frankie said because they're so ridiculous. So, Frankie is like, yeah, I'm independently famous. This is like completely separate from my sister. It's all me. I'm awesome. And he said that he is ranked the 33rd most influential tweeter in New York City by New York Magazine. Oh my god! Are you serious with that? And he was also talking about how it was really frustrating listening to all of you peasants talk about your meager social media followings and talking about celebrities that I actually know in person and I'm friends with them. And he was complaining about how it's so hard because he has to do his Twitter, his Instagram, his Vine, and his YouTube all by himself. 2 whole videos a week. Now you may say that I'm ragging on Frankie quite a bit right now, but if you saw the live feeds, I think you'll know why. And if you didn't see the live feeds, I will tell you, I was this close to throwing up all over myself all last night watching this. Okay, so Donnie and Zach stayed behind in the fire room after Frankie left to tell the girls. And Zach was like really upset about the whole situation. So Donnie was comforting him. He's like, other seasons have had, you know, like Evil Dick and Dan Giesling and stuff. We have our Zach. It was so cute. So the saddest thing though, while they're like trying to comfort each other, you can hear the girls screaming about Frankie's news in the other room in the distance. And it's so sad because it's just like silent in there and then you can hear the screaming in the background. So sad. So Derek pulls Frankie aside, alone, and he's like, look, I know we're like obligated to work together because of Team America, but I want you to know I want to work with you regardless of Team America, and we're still gonna go to the end together. But it didn't sound like that when Derek was talking to Cody and Caleb. He's like, Frankie straight up just tried to pull a Dan Giesling funeral situation, and he's just trying to set himself up again for next week because he knows that he was in the crapper. So Derek sees through it, Cody sees through it, Zach definitely sees through it, Caleb, not as much. So Derek is also really pissed because he feels like he has lost Victoria like that to Frankie because Victoria is a huge Ariana Grande fan. So Derek pulls Victoria aside, he talks some sense into her, and Victoria's like, what's the big deal? Like, it's not game related. Derek is like, it is absolutely game related. Do you see how everyone is kissing his ass right now? So I think he's right. And they were just saying how they're all so discouraged that Frankie is most likely going to win America's Favorite Player if they have that this season because, you know, he's got that fan base, so they're really discouraged. Okay, Nicole comes crying out of the diary room, apologizing to Frankie for nominating him. Nicole, no. But she's upset because she thinks that America hates her now and all these people are going to be attacking her online when she leaves the house. And all of Frankie and Ariana's fans, and Frankie's like, no, like, I'm not mad at you. Sure you're not. So Victoria was comforting Nicole. Victoria was like the voice of reason. It was wild. She was like, he's just a person and he's a total jerk. He's always talking crap about me and he should know that that's not okay because people are talking crap about his sister and that's not cool, so he should know. So Victoria seems pretty pissed at Frankie. So Nicole and Christine touched base a little later. Christine was like, Nicole, don't worry. I'm not going to backdoor you this week. It's cool. So Christine is like, I want Zach on. I want Donnie to win the Power Veto, then I'm going to nominate Victoria in his place, and then I want Zach to go home. So Frankie, of course, runs up to the HOH room and asks, oh, Christine, can I sleep in the HOH room with you tonight? So she can't say no. So then Frankie was alone with Christine, and he's like, yeah, I need Zach to go this week too. So Frankie was also kind of pushing for this plan to backdoor Nicole, and Christine is like, no, I don't really want to do that. So this morning, I think we got a taste of what Christine is really thinking. It's hard to tell with her sometimes because, you know, she is so convincing with so many people. So she was alone in the Beehive room this morning, and she's like, how do I get Frankie to leave me alone without totally ruining my game? She was like, I hate him right now. Ah! Alright, so Christine and Nicole were chatting this morning, and Nicole's like, you know what? I'm feeling really uncomfortable with Frankie right now. He's acting like a totally different person, and he actually said that it's been 3 years since he's hung out with normal people. So it's a weird experience for him. That is such an awful thing to say. So they just are not liking how cocky Frankie is acting right now. It's just, it's gross. So in the words of Christine from last week, I am disgusted. Disgusted. Yeah. So Christine is like, Nicole, you're totally Frankie's target #1. And she's like, I knew it. So they're telling each other that they're gonna, you know, go back to a clean slate. They're gonna work together for real. They want to tell Cody that they're working together again, so that they could potentially like pull him and Derek in. We'll see about that. But then Nicole was very busy. She also had a chat with Donnie this morning. Please, will you two do something, like form a real alliance and like do stuff? So they know that this week it's win or go home. That veto is going to be really important. So Donnie is telling Nicole, look, Frankie, Christine, Derek, and Cody have been working together since the very beginning. But you know what? Derek is the one that's been manipulating everyone. He has control over everyone. And Nicole's like, yeah, that makes sense. So of course, while they're talking, Derek is like, oh, Donnie and Nicole have been talking for a while. I don't like that. So he sends Victoria into the room as a spy, and he's like, oh, Donnie's the biggest schemer, blah, 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 he's gotta go. So Frankie and Derek were talking in Frankie's office, aka the HOH room, and they're both like, of course, oh yeah, I trust you, yada, yada, yada. And Frankie's like, would we look like a-holes if we voted out Donnie this week? And Derek's like, no, Donnie is not Team America. He's not with us. Get real. You can't use the excuse that Donnie turned down that Team America task when you two did the same thing this week. Come on. So Derek is like, totally stroking Frankie's ego. He's like, oh, how many followers do you have on this? How many followers do you have on this? How do you make money on YouTube? How do you do it all? So he also gave Frankie some information. He's like, guess what? The original plan for this week was for Zach to be nominated with you, and he was going to throw the BOB so that you would stay up on the block. And I'm kind of wishing that that was what happened, because I think Zach would have been a little more proactive in the throwing than Caleb was, because some people are saying that Caleb kind of, you know, wanted Frankie to win. I think he heard about that NFL prize and he was like, ooh, I wouldn't be so mad if Frankie won. So yeah. They picked the have-nots today, and Christine chose poor Donnie and Zach, still on the block, and they're have-nots now. But her reasoning was fair. You know, they've been have-nots the least so far. I think this is Donnie's first time as a have-not. So America voted for them to enjoy peanut butter and jellyfish in addition to slop. So I know they're definitely going to have peanut butter, but I'm a little confused if they're going to have jelly and fish or just fish. So I don't know, but peanut butter, that's pretty friggin' sweet. So good for them. But Donnie and Zach are both feeling really down, and they are the new besties for life. They're comforting each other. Donnie actually started crying. He was like, I am never going to leave my girlfriend or my family like this again. This is the worst. So they agree. They both have to fight hard in the power of veto. One of them is most likely going home this week, and whoever stays in the house has to keep fighting for whoever goes home. It was so sweet! Okay, so the Power Veto competition is over. It was hosted by Victoria, the players, Christine, Donnie, Zach, Derek, Nicole, and Caleb. So a lot of people were saying that it was the OTEV competition, or as Helen calls it, OTIV, never forget. But I just realized, like, why would Victoria be the host if it was OTEV? Because that's usually no host. But I don't know. I mean, it could have been. Who knows? But Zach won the power of veto. Good job, Zach Attack. It's bittersweet, though, because I'm happy that Zach is safe, but at the same time, I'm like, doesn't look good for Donnie. I really hope that they can work some magic this week. Maybe Donnie can change some minds, get some votes, but we'll see. Anything can happen, and we will pick up there tomorrow. So until then, much love.
Edit.